So in multi-unit dwellings, 30% of people say that they smell cigarette smoke. We know that the air recirculates. Up to two-thirds of the air may recirculate in these buildings. So even if you have a policy for your home saying, I have a smoke-free home, in a multi-unit building, you may be, in fact, living under somebody else's policy. That we need to really be realistic about whose choice this is. And it now is very clear that secondhand smoke kills. And when we make a personal choice to smoke, we shouldn't be making the choice to expose other people to that.
You can look at sort of the secondhand smoke exposure with children, that lived experience of more ear infections, more asthma attacks, and secondhand smoke exposure has been linked to sudden infant death syndrome. That science is very real. That is sort of real to many people's lives.
My firm belief is that clean air should not be a luxury.
I mean, when I was a kid, my aunt smoked, and we had no idea about secondhand smoke. We were just like, oh, it's just annoying and things like that. But as people learn about the dangers of how harmful it is and how dangerous it is, that's really when people start to act, and that's exactly why smokers do not allow smoking in their homes, and most of them do not do that.
As a co-chair for the mayor's One New York City plan, one of the things I certainly was speaking to the mayor's office on was the need to ensure that as the city is certainly subsidizing units across the city and buildings, that they should be smoke-free.
I think about 90% of the problem that I have remaining. So we have 189 buildings that are smoke-free, and that includes affordable housing, it includes in 20 states, as I said, it's all over the country. Our biggest remaining pocket of unresolved concern is that I'm not allowed to initiate a smoke-free program because it changes the terms of the lease in a rent-stabilized apartment. So that is a singular current legal barrier.
Last October, we published Changes in the Air, which is an action guide not only for property owners, but anybody who's interested in the issue. And the first two steps that are detailed are to present the idea to the staff board and the resident council. Is get the residents involved. That's the very first step. Second step is survey the residents. We have the general percentages of who does what, who likes what, who doesn't, who hates what, and getting a survey out, and there are examples of surveys here, engages all of the residents in the building, gets them talking about it, thinking about it, going the next step. So I've mentioned those two things very quickly.
I think the development community, regardless of what asset class, when it comes to multifamily, whether it's expensive or luxury or whatever, they still only see the problem. They don't want to take on what they potentially is a public relations concern, potentially is a litigation concern. They haven't done the research. It's a lot of information. We've done all that because we think it's the right thing to do, and it is good for our organization. It's consistent with our practices. We're doing it in part because it's better for our employees who don't have to work in an environment where there's indoor air quality problems. We're doing it in part, and this is all research-based, we're more concerned not about being sued by a smoker, which we have not been. We are concerned about being sued by a non-smoker, because as a landlord, we're obliged to provide a safe and sanitary environment, and that's extended to quiet enjoyment, and that can be interpreted to mean air quality. And so we're concerned that people, the 80+% of the people in the building who are potentially compromised by the 20%, would be up in arms if we don't do something about this.
It's really an important step and it's sort of in many ways the next frontier in trying to protect people from the risks of secondhand smoke.